Chapter 11 Hidden Attribute Value Activation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Trialist Galaxy, you have successfully completed the trial mission and officially become a reincarnator. All functions of the reincarnation space will be fully opened. The rewards you get for this trial are as follows. Reincarnation points, 10,000 points. Reincarnation coins, 500. Congratulations on getting the SSS level evaluation in the Kung Fu copy. You can choose to take the items in the copy out. It was detected that there was only cash in the backpack, $2,300,000, only allowed to be used in the copy, which has been taken back to the reincarnation space by default. The prompt stopped here, and Lin Luo was stunned. That's it. Although he was surprised why he could get the SSS level evaluation, he got it after all. The so-called perfect level evaluation, just such a small reward. Lin Luo was a little disappointed when he came to his senses, but he didn't know how huge the points and reincarnation coins he got were. Moreover, the rewards were not over. The door of one of the small rooms at the bottom of the reincarnation column suddenly opened. Before Lin Luo could react, his body was sucked involuntarily. In the room, the manager in black robes was still there. Trialist. No, now you should be called Reincarnationist Galaxy. Since you are the first Reincarnationist to receive an SSS level evaluation, the next rewards will be distributed by me personally. Are there other rewards? Lin Luo asked. The manager nodded, of course. He seemed to see through Lin Luo's thoughts and laughed unprecedentedly. Even if it is an A-level 100% bonus clearance evaluation, in a 1-star dungeon, a reincarnationist can only get 1,000 points and 10 reincarnation coins. And you only tried the trial dungeon, and the points reward you got is 10 times theirs. What's more, you also got good things in the dungeon. An illusory screen appeared in front of him. It was Lin Luo's attribute panel, among them, the Beiming Divine Art and the 6 Meridians Divine Sword in the skill column suddenly flashed. The suffixes of the two changed. Beiming Divine Art, A+ grade art. Currently at the first level, you can spend 500 reincarnation coins to upgrade to the second level, and get 50% absorption efficiency. 0.6 Meridians Divine Sword, A grade art. Currently at the first level, you can spend 400 reincarnation coins to upgrade to the second level, get 20 points of spiritual value and increase the power of sword energy. These two lines of prompts made Lin Luo take a breath. There are probably not many A+ grade arts in the entire reincarnation space. Only 500 reincarnation coins are needed to upgrade. The value of this currency is so high. After reacting, he was in trouble again. He only got a SSS level evaluation and was rewarded with 500 reincarnation coins. He couldn't use them all at once, but upgrading Beiming Divine Art was imminent, and Lin Luo was very entangled. The manager continued, in addition, because you have obtained the first SSS level evaluation, the Samsara space will give you a permanent property. You can go and see the specific data yourself when the time comes. The data of the property was displayed on the screen, which was located on the other side of the square. As far as Lin Luo knew, the Samsara space contained top-level space technology, and the space inside was extremely large. Even so, the property here is still extremely valuable. A small apartment of 30 square meters, with only 5 years of property rights, can get a quote of more than 300 million in the real world. The value of this permanent property that I have obtained can be imagined. Finally, and most importantly, the manager said in a deep tone. According to the rules of the Samsara space, the reincarnation who obtains the SSS level evaluation can obtain the title of World Master in the current copy world. And automatically activate the luck and charm value attributes. In the current copy world, the luck and charm attributes will be raised to the highest. Hearing the words of the manager, Lin Luo suddenly widened his eyes. What? World Master. If I had known that the reincarnation had 2 hidden attributes, it would be so easy to activate. As his heartbeat accelerated, he felt dizzy. But Lin Luo's breathing stagnated, and he almost punched him in the face. Because you are participating in the trial copy, the task requirements and copy difficulty are greatly reduced, and it is easier to get a perfect evaluation. The manager said slowly, so, the title of the Lord of the World can be retained, but the function is limited. Of course, the title of reincarnation has been officially obtained. Enter the reincarnation space through the reincarnation symbol, and you can check your star rating on your wrist. Next time you pass the Kung Fu copy and get a perfect evaluation again, the complete title of the Lord of the World will be reissued. After explaining everything, the manager waved his hand. You have returned from the copy for the first time, and there are still many things to do, so go first. The door of the room opened, still without Lin Luo's consent. His body quickly floated out of the room. Looking at the tightly closed door in front of him, Lin Luo clenched his fist. In the end, the reward that should have been given to him was still deducted by the manager. In the end, all he got was a permanent property. Open the property panel to check. Reincarnation, Galaxy, Reincarnation number 202332250127, P-Zone, Strength, 57. Constitution, 54. Agility, 61. Spirit, 85. Luck, 1. Charm, 9. Free attribute, 0. Reincarnation points, 10,000. Reincarnation coins, 500. Skills, Bei Ming Divine Art, 1st level, 6 Meridians Divine Sword, 1st level, Reincarnation star rating, none. Fortunately, my attributes have skyrocketed. Moreover, the attributes of luck and charm have also been successfully activated. Without any bonus, Lin Luo looked at his charm value of 9 points and felt happy. To become a 1-star reincarnationist, you need to accumulate 15,000 points of reincarnation points. If you use the average A-level evaluation to pass the level, ordinary reincarnationists need to pass at least 15 dungeon worlds to upgrade, but for Lin Luo, the upgrade is just around the corner. He glanced at the time. He had been in the Kung Fu dungeon for nearly 40 hours, but only 1 hour had passed in the reincarnation space. The reincarnation space is connected to the real world, and the time flow rate on both sides is the same, but in the dungeon world, no matter how long the reincarnationist stays in it, the time flow rate in the outside world is always 1 hour. What's more, someone once spent half a year exploring in a large dungeon. When he came out of the dungeon, only 1 hour had passed in the outside world. Extreme and magical time passing ratio. This is why everyone believes that the reincarnation space is a product of the gods. Putting away the attribute panel, Lin Luo walked to the other side of the square. He was going to take a look at the property that belonged to him first. Just started. A series of beeping prompts came. Countless messages and call requests rang in Lin Luo's ears. Chapter 12 Unrated 2-Star Reincarnator. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master Hehehe, please take me with you. I am very good. My size is 33-21-30, I promise to be absolutely obedient. Can you please give me the guide for the Kung Fu dungeon? The price is negotiable. Master, I am your fan. Can you take me with you to explore the dungeon in the future? I have already reached 2 stars. We are the Ant Consortium. Are you a child of a noble family or an amateur? Have you ever considered joining the consortium? At the same time, thousands of messages appeared in front of Lin Luo, and the call requests sent were even more dense. Lin Luo's face was full of black lines when he heard the constant reminder sound. He had just returned to the reincarnation space. Why did so many people come to him? Did he expose himself? He did not expect that the moment he got the SSS level evaluation, the reincarnation space had already made his code name public. Fortunately, the privacy of the reincarnation space is very good, and no one can bypass the administrator to find Lin Luo's real information. Everyone can only look for Hehehe in the public channel. After some exploration, Lin Luo found a way. He directly closed the communication request and blocked all private messages, although the messages were still accumulating. Fortunately, the annoying reminder sound could not be heard. Crossing the square, Lin Luo came to the building at the end. There were many plaques at the door. There were taverns, pharmacies, auction houses, exchanges, etc., and there was even a neon-lit dance hall sign standing in the distance. All the buildings were crowded with people, shoulder to shoulder. On the contrary, there were few people in front of the residential area. It was understandable that the real estate in the reincarnation space was very expensive, and it was not that rich people could not afford it. When you walk into the residential area, you don't need to show proof, and someone will come forward to greet you soon. It was still the manager wrapped in a black robe. Lin Luo was numb. Under the leadership of this manager, Lin Luo entered a 4-bedroom and 2-living-room apartment. Although it was not a villa, he was already very satisfied. If this house was auctioned in the real world, it would cost tens of billions. Moreover, after closing the door, no one could detect what happened in the room. Even the manager is not qualified to interfere in the affairs of private properties. After calming down, Lin Luo was finally able to take stock of his gains. The gains in the dungeon were a total of 2 sets of skills and several million in cash. There are 5 rewards for getting an SSS level evaluation: reincarnation points, 10,000 points, reincarnation coins, 500, activated 2 hidden attributes of luck and charm, a set of permanent properties, and a broken title of Lord of the World. According to the manager, these rewards are very generous and out of reach for ordinary people. Lord of the World, temporary in the Kung Fu dungeon, get double luck and charm bonus, no cooldown in the dungeon, need to get at least S-level evaluation. You can take items belonging to the reincarnation out of the dungeon. It can be inferred from these instructions. If it is a complete version of the title, then the luck and charm values should be maxed out directly. Moreover, there is no evaluation requirement, and the Lord of the World can take things out of the dungeon at will, as long as those items belong to the reincarnation. The benefits are indeed very high. What a pity. It would be better if it was a complete version of the title. Thinking it was a pity, Lin Luo turned his attention to the points. 100 points can be exchanged for 1 free attribute point. For ordinary reincarnationists, even if they can get S-level evaluation in each dungeon, they can only get 15,000 points at most after clearing 10 dungeons. However, when he became a 1-star reincarnationist, he only got 150 attribute points. There is still a gap of 10 points from the 160-point full attribute value required by a 1-star reincarnationist. Adding his original attributes, it can barely meet the requirements of a 1-star reincarnationist. However, after becoming a 4-star reincarnationist, the attribute points required by the reincarnationist increased dramatically. Formally, only relying on clearing dungeons to obtain attribute points is far from meeting the requirements for the reincarnationist to upgrade. Moreover, this is calculated based on the assumption that each dungeon is rated S level, but these calculations are not true for Lin Luo. After only 1 trial dungeon, he got a full 10,000 points. The attribute points increased more than 10 times faster than others. Without much consideration, Lin Luo exchanged all the points for 100 free attribute points, and then opened the attribute panel. First try to add to the luck and charm values, but the 2 data did not change. Obviously it was impossible to add points with free attributes. Looking at other attributes, he thought for a moment. His only means of attack is the 6 Meridians Divine Sword. The higher the spirit value, the stronger the attack. He must give priority to adding points to the spirit attribute. In addition, the physique must also keep up. After a while, Lin Luo added 100 points of free attributes. His own attributes ushered in a surge again. Reincarnation, Galaxy, Reincarnation number, 202332250127, P-Zone, Strength, 80. Constitution, 100. Agility, 77. Spirit, 100. Luck, 1. Charm, 9. Free attribute, 0. Reincarnation points, 0. Reincarnation coins, 500. Skills, Biming Divine Art. First level, 6 Meridians Divine Sword. First level, Reincarnation Star Rating, none. Among the 4 attributes, both Constitution and Spirit have reached 3 digits, reaching a new level. Although his agility is low, his overall attribute value has reached 357 points. If I remember correctly, the minimum requirement for a 2-star reincarnationist is to reach an overall attribute value of 320 points, with a single attribute of no less than 70 points. He had just passed a trial task, and his strength was already comparable to that of a 2-star reincarnationist. This conclusion was unbelievable to Lin Luo himself. If the news were to be released, I'm afraid few people in the reincarnation space would believe it. Not counting the time spent in the dungeon, it has only been an hour and a half since he came in from the real world. At this time, Lin Luo has undergone earth-shaking changes, and his changes are more than that, suppressing his inner excitement. Lin Luo looked at his attribute panel. I choose to upgrade the North Sea Divine Art. After thinking for a long time, Lin Luo finally made up his mind. although upgrading the North Sea Divine Art is expensive, it is not its disadvantage. If the exploration of the next dungeon world is opened, the 2 layers of the North Sea Divine Art with 50% absorption efficiency will bring more than 500 reincarnation coins. The request of the reincarnationist has been received. 500 reincarnation coins are being consumed to upgrade the skill level. A calm voice without any emotion sounded, "This is Lin Luo's private residence, those managers with self-awareness cannot enter." He felt that the blood in his body seemed to be boiling. In the air around him, it seemed that countless air currents were rushing into his body. A flash of light passed by. On the attribute panel, the level of beaming divine art suddenly increased. And the balance of reincarnation coins also suddenly dropped from 500 to 0. Lin Luo breathed a sigh of relief. His eyes were hot. After having a fixed residence, he would appear here when he entered or left the reincarnation space in the future, and he would not appear in the center of the square like at the beginning. Although it was still early, but in order to suppress his restless emotions, Lin Luo chose to exit the reincarnation space after a short rest. Real world, the feeling of weightlessness dissipated, and he opened his eyes and observed the surrounding environment, until he confirmed that he was lying on the bed in the bedroom. Lin Luo finally felt relieved. He checked the time. It was 2:17 a.m., after 2 days of working in the dungeon world. He felt sleepy. After a quick cleanup, he buried his head in the bed and fell into a deep sleep. Chapter 13. The name of Galaxy is known to everyone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Early in the morning, Lin Luo yawned and walked into the school gate. It was good that he was not bound by his family, and he didn't have to explain anything to them. On the way to school today, he finally knew that his perfect evaluation had caused a sensation in the whole society. This is the first time that an SSS-level evaluation has appeared since the emergence of the reincarnation space. Not only the family consortium, on the forum, national power also began to intervene. The whole network is looking for who this mysterious Hehehe is. From the nickname, some people speculate that Hehehe may be from Daxia, but the culture here in East Asia is similar, and they all developed from the ancient Chinese civilization. There is no guarantee that people from Sakura country or the small and cute Goryeo country will not come up with such a nickname. Originally thought that it would take some time for me to become famous. Unexpectedly, Hehehe's name resounded throughout the entire network in just one night. While secretly happy in his heart, Lin Luo deeply realized that his identity still needed to be hidden. Before he had the strength to negotiate with the superpower, he must not reveal the fact that he was Hehehe to anyone. In the classroom, the morning class has not started yet, and the classmates are scattered around, chatting enthusiastically. You don't know yet? The Samsara space has an SSS-level evaluation, and it is announced to the whole space. I haven't tried yet, how can I know? Fuck, it's that big guy called Galaxy. I heard that he seems to be from our Daxia. Awesome. Daxia has changed its fate recently. Why are there so many big guys coming out? Not necessarily, it may be someone from Sakura. Anyway, let's wait for the official announcement. Everyone is looking for this Galaxy. I heard that big Galaxy was just a trialist yesterday. Fuck. I don't know if I can get an SSS level evaluation when I try. Friend, you are a little arrogant. You dare to say such things. I don't know if Big Galaxy will release the strategy of the dungeon. I saw on the forum that someone has bid up to 8 figures. The discussion continued. Lin Luo, who had just walked into the classroom, glanced sideways, and then calmly walked to his seat and sat down. It is impossible to say that he was not panicked at all. These people live with him day and night. If they don't hide well, there may be a risk of being exposed. After packing up his things, he also took out his mobile phone and went to the forum. The forum is called Reincarnation Forum, which is specially open for the reincarnation space. There are discussions about various copies, and there is also a trading area for reincarnationists, and today, almost all the posts on the list are dominated by the same person. Reincarnation, Galaxy. Lin Luo should be happy about this, but he has a headache. He didn't expect that his unintentional behavior would directly make him the focus of the whole society. He wanted to be famous, to reach the peak of his life, and to marry a white, rich and beautiful woman, but he didn't want to be famous so soon. When he was feeling irritable, heavy footsteps approached. A fat and strong body walked to his side and sat down. Bang. The alloy chair bore the pressure that it shouldn't bear. Lin Luo turned off his mobile phone and turned to look at his side. He saw a fat man with sweat all over his head, panting and slumped in the chair. Noticing Lin Luo's sight, the fat man also turned his head. He reached out and patted Lin Luo's shoulder. "Brother Luo, I'm back alive." Huff, ha, ha. Lin Luo, _. The memories transmitted by the original owner were mostly about the reincarnation space. Some insignificant things were selectively hidden deep in his mind. In this situation, Lin Luo did not dare to delay. He searched the memories in his mind. Soon, he figured out the identity of the person in front of him. This fat man was his classmate and one of the few friends of the original owner in school. Just one day before Lin Luo crossed over, he was reported to his parents by the teacher for skipping classes to surf the internet. After being caught from the internet cafe, he was taken home and beaten. I heard that he was beaten very badly. He didn't come to class yesterday and could only lie in bed to recover. No wonder I didn't see this person in class yesterday. Looking back, Lin Luo breathed a sigh of relief. A smile appeared on his face. What era is it? You still skip classes to surf the internet? If you have this time, you might as well go to the reincarnation space to play a few more dungeons. Hey! Brother Luo, you are right. The fat man nodded in agreement. Today, the boy finally grew into a man. What, you lost your virginity? The fat man paused and looked at Lin Luo in confusion. Why do I feel that Brother Luo is a little strange today, but I can't tell what's strange. Broken ass, do you think I am an old virgin like you? I lost my virginity when I was in junior high school. Don't talk nonsense. The fat man waved his hand. He took out his mobile phone and opened the reincarnation forum. Give me half a year, I must prove to everyone that Daxia not only has the Milky Way, but also has a place for me, Wanxiang. When the time comes, Brother Luo, tell everyone that you are my brother Wanxiang, and see who dares to say that we are useless brothers. Wanxiang. Lin Luo frowned. Names like, what can I do with my father, Lang Bing Ning Ai Yumeng Chui Shuang, and Long Ao Tian, they were all over the internet in my previous life, and most of them were mocking non-mainstream names. I didn't expect that fatty would use such a name as a nickname. Lin Luo grinned, but couldn't help asking, will you really not get beaten for using this name as a nickname? In the original owner's memory, the fat man had failed a grade, so, although he seemed to be in the third year of high school, he had already become a reincarnator. As for the nickname, the original owner didn't know it before. However, just when this sentence came out, the fat man turned his head again and looked at him for a long time with a surprised look. Luo, what's wrong with you today? This is my real name, not a nickname. This answer almost made Lin Luo confused on the spot. I never thought that there was actually someone named Wanxiang. Did I travel to a world where a domineering president fell in love with me? No. He made up for it. What I mean is it okay for you to use your real name in the reincarnation space? Oh, what does it matter? The fat man named Wanxiang waved his hand nonchalantly. Anyway, no one will believe it. His strange train of thought made Lin Luo speechless again. After holding it in for a long time, he finally managed to utter a sentence. You're right. The fat man ignored him and just browsed the forum on his phone, until class was about to start. He suddenly put away his phone after thinking of something. Wait a minute, I remember that it was your birthday yesterday. Brother Luo, did you enter the reincarnation space? Did you use your real name too? I'll add you as a friend after school, and I'll take you with me as a big brother in the future. I did. Lin Luo did not deny it. In fact, in this world, the first thing that people who are over 18 years old do is to enter the reincarnation space without exception. It would be too fake to say that they didn't enter. However, if he said directly that he was Inha, the fat man would probably be scared silly on the spot. Don't expect to have a quiet life in the future, and you may even be forcibly captured and sliced for research by others. No, I didn't use my real name, I just picked a nickname. Let's not add friends for now. Lin Luo said thoughtfully, you have been a reincarnation for so long, I am afraid of delaying your progress. Wait a while, I will catch up with the star level, and we can play together again. The fat man wanted to say more, but Lin Luo didn't want to go deeper on this topic. Seeing someone walk in from the door, he hurriedly pushed the fat man's body away. It's time to go to class, let's talk later. Chapter 14, Royal Sister Teacher, 3-star Reincarnation, Wanxiang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The person who walked into the classroom was a beautiful lady in her 20s, wearing tight elastic pants, full of youthful vitality. In particular, as she moved her hands, a mark vaguely appeared on her wrist. The 3 dazzling stars are extremely eye-catching, 3-star Reincarnation. Lin Luo's pupils shrank, unexpectedly. In an ordinary high school in Linhai City, the teacher was actually a 3-star Reincarnation person. Moreover, she doesn't look very old. For the senior high school students who have just qualified to enter the reincarnation space, this beautiful sister is simply a godlike existence. Hello, students, starting from today, I will be your teacher in the copy analysis class. My name is Xiao Yuxuan. You can call me Teacher Xiao or Sister Xian, depending on what you like. With that said, Xiao Yuxuan turned around and wrote her name on the blackboard, below the podium. The eyes of dozens of boys were completely attracted by her figure. Sister Xian. Sister Xian. Xian Xian. Xiao Yuxuan turned around suddenly, but there was still a smile on her face. Some students should not shout randomly. This is the first and last reminder. You can also remember my code name. If you have any questions in the reincarnation space, you can contact me at any time. She turned around again and wrote 2 words on the blackboard, evening fragrance. Wanxiang. Lin Luo narrowed his eyes and muttered in a low voice, as a teacher, Xiao Yuxuan is an official public employee and has a dedicated department for reincarnations. For them, revealing their reincarnation code is nothing. After the introduction, Xiao Yuxuan turned to look at everyone. First of all, I have a message for everyone. Li Xiang. Yesterday he cleared the copy of The Richest Man in Shihong City and received a B-level evaluation. Although it is only a 1-star dungeon, it is already among the top 10 in our class. Everyone applauds him. A boy sitting in the front row stood up and glanced at everyone with a proud face. There was sparse applause. The fat man sitting next to him sneered disdainfully. What's there to be proud of? I completed this dungeon half a year ago, and it got a B+ rating. The fat man said, turning his head to look at the forest beside him, as if he was waiting to be praised. However, Lin Luo remained unmoved. The richest man in Shihong City. In my impression, there is nothing difficult about this movie. If you choose to be the protagonist Wang Duiyu, your mission should be to spend all his second grandfather's billions, for people in the real world. This task is not difficult. At most, if there is a hidden mission, it is nothing more than deciphering the conspiracy of the 2 managers in advance and getting to know Wang Duiyu's mistress. For a copy of this kind of plot, a B-level evaluation is easy to come by, so there's nothing to brag about. Brother Luo. Brother Luo. Ah. Lin Luo came back to his senses. Oh, you are awesome, fat man. It seems that you are doing very well in the reincarnation space. You can get a B+ rating. There's no way there. The fat man smiled sheepishly. Actually, it's also because my dad bought me a guide. I heard that it cost hundreds of thousands to get a B+ level guide. Lin Luo's expression was startled. I was just about to say that for such a simple copy, I could get an A-level rating even with my eyes closed. Why did Fatty get a B+ rating after buying the guide? Wait, how much? Fat man, you just said, how much did it cost to buy the guide? Several hundred thousand, maybe more than 300,000, it's not expensive. Damn it! Lin Luo exclaimed, more than 300,000 yuan only has a B+ rating. Could your dad have been ripped off? The fat man glared at him. How is that possible? This is already worth it. Go to the forum and take a look. Among those strategies with A-level reviews, none of them are priced at more than 1 million. This little money is nothing. Hiss, taking a breath of cold air, Lin Luo felt that he had a new understanding of the reincarnation space. If you want a guide, you can make it yourself. Moreover, if you follow your own strategy, if you are lucky, it is not impossible to get an S-level rating. If you put it on the forum and sell it, wouldn't it be possible to sell it for a sky-high price? This thought flashed through Lin Luo's mind. The risk is also a bit high. if anyone wants to investigate, based on clues, they may be able to deduce that the person who betrayed the guide is Hehehe. The forum is not a reincarnation space and will not keep your identity secret. Once leaked, the consequences would be disastrous. If you want to trade strategies, you can only trade them in the reincarnation space. By the way, Brother Luo, do you want this guide? If so, I'll pass it on to you tonight and it will save you some effort. Fatty said. There is also a little beauty named Xia Zhu in the plot. I heard that there is a mission to capture her. It's a pity that there are no specific instructions in my guide, alas. The fat man sighed, looking quite regretful. After his reminder, Lin Luo also remembered the Xia Zhu in the plot. Although Xia Zhu in the movie has an ordinary face, she does have a good figure. If the level of the dungeon were higher, I might try it myself, but for a 1-star copy, forget it. No, I'll practice with other copies first. Lin Luo declined politely. The two of them were talking with each other. Xiao Yuxuan, who was standing on the podium, suddenly said, "Excuse me," who his classmate Lin Luo. Under the stage, Lin Luo and Fatty paused at the same time. Teacher Xiao, I'm Lin Luo. After thinking for a while, Lin Luo stood up. Facing the curious and repulsive eyes of other students in the class, his face remained unchanged. I've read the files. You turned 18 yesterday. You should have entered the reincarnation space. What did you gain? Xiao Yuxuan asked with a smile. Her facial features are very heroic. When she smiled, she had a bit of the gentleness of a girl from the south of the Yangtze River. Lin Luo, who had already thought of the words, nodded immediately. It's okay, at least I'm a reincarnation. He thought silently in his heart, and a light golden mark appeared on his forehead. It was the mark of the reincarnation space. Seeing this scene, some classmates were jealous, and some were still disdainful, and Xiao Yuxuan nodded with relief. Lin Luo, remember to add me as a friend when you go back. Feel free to find me if you need help. Okay. Lin Luo nodded and sat down. He didn't have any special feelings for Xiao Yuxuan, he just liked her looks, but if they meet in the reincarnation space and she knows his identity, Lin Luo believes that he will not be soft-hearted. He came to this world only for himself. It is not impossible to kill his sister to prove his truth, to survive, and then become a top reincarnationist, and step on everyone under his feet, is his goal. The day's class ended quickly. Lin Luo righteously rejected the fat man's invitation to the internet cafe and quickly returned home. After knowing that the name of Galaxy has resounded throughout the world, his sense of crisis has become stronger. Nothing is important, only strength is the most important. The house is empty. Walking into the house, Lin Luo did not hesitate and went straight back to the room. After lying on the bed, he stretched out his hand and touched the center of his eyebrows. Enter the reincarnation space. Chapter 15. I am a netizen from the north of Daxia. You are listening at novelfold.audio. Schwa. The scene flashed in front of him. Lin Luo, who had transformed into the galactic Milky Way, returned to the reincarnation space again. Sitting on the sofa in the room, he turned his head and looked out the window. The dome supported by the reincarnation pillars flickered with tiny lights, like a sky full of stars. According to an insider who had asked the administrator, these bright lights that looked like stars each represented a world. The dungeon worlds explored by the reincarnators were all made up of these stars. At a glance, there were more than 1 million stars on the dome. Putting away the shock in his heart, Lin Luo opened the system panel. There was no time limit for entering the reincarnation space, but there was for exploring the dungeon. After completing a dungeon, you need to wait for a 24-hour cooling time before you can explore the next time. However, as the popularity of the galaxy continued to rise, his situation became dangerous. Before he had enough strength, it didn't matter whether he adjusted the time or not. Administrator, open the dungeon selection. Lin Luo said. Reincarnation Galaxy, currently no rating, you can choose any 1-star copy. The voice of the administrator sounded. At the same time, countless copies appeared on the virtual screen, sliding rapidly. According to the requirements of the reincarnation space, he needs to draw 10 1-star copies first, then he can choose freely among these copies. However, for Lin Luo, it doesn't matter which copy to draw. Only when you reach the copies above 2 stars and 3 stars will you see low-level or even high-level martial arts worlds, and 1-star copies are basically all ordinary. Parallel worlds, and the improvement of strength is extremely limited, therefore, the most important thing now is to speed through the copy and get the most reincarnation experience. Only after the reincarnation star level is increased can you enter the high star copy world earlier. Thinking of this, Lin Luo's eyes became firm. Stop! He shouted casually. The sliding interface on the screen stopped instantly, a total of 10 copies, listed in sequence in front of him. Dying to Survive, Charlotte's Troubles, Crazy Stone, Detective Chinatown, Young and Dangerous. Those years, Lin Luo's sight passed through the copies of Dying to Survive and Charlotte. Just like the richest man in Shihong City, the plots of copies like these are too long, and the tasks may even take a month to complete. Although it has little impact on the outside world, Lin Luo doesn't have the patience. Soon, his eyes fell on the copy of Chinatown. Taking all factors into consideration, Detective Chinatown should be the most suitable copy for him. First of all, the task time in the original plot is only 3 days, the copy has a fast pace. What's more, for himself who is familiar with the plot, as long as he wants, he can catch those murderers at any time. If there is no requirement for sufficient evidence, give him 3 minutes, Lin Luo can get everyone together. Perfectly meets the requirements of speeding through the copy and getting high evaluations. I choose the copy of Detective Chinatown. As the voice fell, the picture on the virtual screen slowly changed. The other 9 copies disappeared at the same time, leaving only the last Chinatown copy still displayed. Reincarnator Hehehe, you have chosen the Chinatown detective world, and the transfer will be carried out after the cooling time ends. Current remaining cooling time, 5 hours and 47 minutes. Please wait patiently. Looking at the countdown gradually passing on the screen, Lin Luo was not in a hurry. This cooling time is a hard requirement of the reincarnation space, in order to prevent the reincarnationists from being obsessed with strength and mindlessly choosing various copies to explore. Lying on the sofa, he opened his personal panel. Suddenly, countless messages popped up instantly. During the time when Lin Luo blocked the outside world, thousands of people sent him messages in order to contact Hehehe. These messages were only blocked by the prompt sound, but they were not unreceived. Brother Hehehe, I'm looking for a kung fu dungeon strategy. I'm being hunted by the Axe gang and I need to get out of here. Hello Hehehe, I'm from the north of Daxia. Do you have a line? We can chat in detail. Brother, I just turned 16 this year. Can you bring me to play? Countless strange messages came into view. Lin Luo's face darkened and he chose to clear the screen with one click. What a joke. In the forums in the real world, a B-level strategy can be sold for hundreds of thousands of yuan. How could someone want to get an SSS-level strategy all the time? I don't want to see any other monsters. He quickly found the friend interface. Because all friend requests were blocked, the friend list on the panel was still 0/0. In the search bar, Lin Luo typed the 3 words Long Outyan. During the day at school, he didn't tell Fatty his nickname. When Fatty found out that Hehehe, who was popular all over the internet, had added him as a friend, I wonder what his expression would be. Just thinking of this picture, Lin Luo couldn't help but smile. Anyway, it's boring to wait for the copy to cool down, so why not tease him first? Friend request has been sent. The other party is not in the reincarnation space, and the message will be sent later. A prompt suddenly popped up on the screen. The smile on Lin Luo's face froze instantly. Good guy. Is this a repentance? I'm afraid it's not the repentance in the internet cafe. There is no way. The only person who can entertain is not here. Now I can only rely on waiting to kill time. Just when he was about to close the virtual screen, Lin Luo's hands suddenly stopped. After countless thoughts flashed through his mind, he opened the search bar again and typed in the word Wanxiang, Xiao Yuxuan. This is the only person whose nickname he knows about the reincarnation space. However, Xiao Yuxuan is a member of the Daxia Alliance and is a public official under the official. With Lin Luo's current mentality, he has not yet exposed his thoughts. If he has too much to do with the official, he always feels a little dangerous. According to the revelations in the forum, the Daxia Alliance controls more than half of the reincarnationists in Daxia. There are more than 200,000 3-star reincarnationists alone. There are not many 4-star reincarnationists, only more than 200, and the pillar of the alliance is now ranked 3rd in the world, a 5-star reincarnationist named Tianwen. Countless information flashed through Lin Luo's mind. After thinking for a long time, he still stressed it and sent a friend request. First of all, he couldn't live in the reincarnation space forever, and he had to return to the real world, coming and going, plus the growth of strength. It is only a matter of time before his identity is exposed. Moreover, compared with dealing with foreign forces, Lin Luo is more willing to contact the Daxia official. There are many copies in the space, and he certainly cannot explore them all by himself. If necessary, it is not impossible to make a deal with the official. Of course, these things can only be done when he has the strength to protect himself. As for now, it is just for fun. Less than half a minute has passed. Beep, the prompt sounded. In the upper right corner of the friend page, the original 0/0 suddenly became January 1st, and Xiao Yuxuan accepted the friend request. Without waiting for Lin Luo to respond, the message page also popped up. Ah! Is it really the Galaxy God? Am I dreaming? This is not right. Why did you add me as a friend? Chapter 16. Which veteran cadre can withstand this test? You are listening at novelfull.audio. If I have to describe Xiao Yuxuan's face, for Lin Luo, the actress named Zhong Xintong in the previous life should be the most similar to her, especially in the years when her appearance was at its peak. The heroic spirit in her eyebrows and eyes, as well as the gentleness in her personality, really fascinated Lin Luo for a long time. It's a pity that the computer repair thing ruined everything. Seeing the message on the screen, Lin Luo temporarily put his thoughts aside. I saw you in the reincarnation space before. I spent a lot of effort to find your nickname. It shouldn't be too much to add a friend, right? Wanxiang, it's not too much. No. Great Galaxy, it's my honor. Wanxiang, wait, Great Galaxy, are you from Daxia? Wanxiang, you are also from P-Zone. In general, through space technology, the entire reincarnation space is divided into different zones. Although they are all in the same reincarnation space, people in different zones usually don't see each other. Only by teleporting can you pass through the barrier to enter another zone. And the benchmark of the zone is roughly divided by country. Only those small countries, such as the surrounding monkeys, Goryeo and other countries, will be included in the P area at the same time. The message sent by Xiao Yuxuan made Lin Luo stunned. Sure enough, as long as you get close to other people, you will always be able to detect clues. Fortunately, it is still under control. Lin Luo deliberately exposed himself as a Daxia person. If you have to say, I am a Daxia person, but you can also say that I am not. Lin Luo replied, do you think that I can get that SSS level perfect evaluation with my own strength? After sending these two sentences, Xiao Yuxuan suddenly stopped. These remarks were also thought of by Lin Luo early in the morning. Anyway, I am a time traveler. Strictly speaking, I am not a Daxia person in this world. Moreover, hinting that there are other organizations behind me can also reduce the possibility of identity exposure. In reality, indeed, no one believes that someone can get the SSS level evaluation of the copy alone with his own ability. The statement of organizational support is more reasonable. After waiting for about 2 minutes, Xiao Yuxuan's message came again. Galaxy God, can I video chat with you? It's really inconvenient to type. Forget it this time. Lin Luo smiled and said, other people's requests are not within my consideration. No. Galaxy God, please listen to my explanation first. Xiao Yuxuan replied quickly. However, Lin Luo predicted her words, quickly replied, first of all, there is no need to call me God, I am just a lucky person who was chosen. Secondly, some things don't need to be explained too clearly. Only if you ask me, I will consider agreeing. Do you understand this sentence? That the message was sent, and the chat box was quiet again. Lin Luo was not in a hurry. There was still a long time before the copy cooldown ended, and he was happy to play more with Xiao Yuxuan and the people behind him. In the last few sentences, the hints were very accurate. Whether you can figure it out depends on the ability of those people on the opposite side. After a long time, the message finally came. Wanxiang, Galaxy, I can agree to your request, but I also have a request. My request? Lin Luo, sitting on the sofa, was particularly confused. Scrolling up the chat history, those few hints, weren't they asking Xiao Yuxuan to make a request? To start a deal with the official, if you get the strategy, I can also make money smoothly. What did I ask for? Grinning, Lin Luo replied with a stiff face, go ahead. Wanxiang, Hehehe, I only represent myself now. I wonder if you have studied the strategies for other dungeons. Wanxiang, we can buy them with money or exchange them with resources. We will never let you suffer. Wanxiang, any star-level dungeon, as long as the strategy can reach a level or above. Okay, ha. Lin Luo breathed a sigh of relief. This is the expected rhythm. He didn't rush to reply, pretending to discuss for a while. It wasn't until 10 minutes passed that he reopened the chat box. Okay. But it's hard to get strategies above level A, so we have to prioritize our own supply. And, after the transaction, you can only use it internally, and you are forbidden to spread it. Wanxiang, definitely. Wanxiang, then. Hehehe, do you need me to find you somewhere, or do you come to pick me up? Hehehe, that when Lin Luo saw this message, he couldn't hold it back after all. For a moment, he even thought that his information had been exposed. Why are you coming to find me while talking? Thinking carefully about the chat records of the two people, he looked through them for a long time. Finally, Lin Luo raised his head, his face full of speechlessness. Could it be that those hints didn't pay attention to the details, making the other party think that Xiao Yuxuan was needed for exchange? This exchange is indeed very tempting. Unfortunately, the transaction must not happen in reality. Even if he trades strategies in the future, he plans to complete it in the reincarnation space, and only requires cash or barter. What's the matter with sending me a living person now? Reject, must refuse. Hehehe, not for now. Take good care of yourself first. I'll come pick you up after I'm done with this. Wanxiang, okay, I'll wait for you then. Hiss, although it was just a few words, why was he inexplicably excited? Looking at the other person's avatar and thinking about Xiao Yuxuan in real life, Lin Luo's imagination ran wild. He shook his head and put aside these fantasies, reaching out and replying, let's do this for now. I'm going to prepare to explore the dungeon. If you need to trade, feel free to contact me. After that, without waiting for the other party's reply, Lin Luo directly closed the chat page. If he continued to chat, he would have to open the network disk to solve this matter. Looking at the cooling time, there were still 3 hours left. Sighing, he could only continue to open the virtual screen and wander around. Fortunately, the functions of the reincarnation space are also very complete. All things that can be solved in the function area can be completed on the virtual panel. In addition to the reincarnation mall, there is also an exchange for reincarnators, as well as other functional panels. Anyway, Lin Luo was bored, so he clicked in one by one to check. In the mall, the first item pinned to the top is the prop called Resurrection Coin. 1, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000. Shit, 100 million reincarnation coins. Lin Luo's eyes widened. He worked hard in the dungeon for a few days and got a perfect evaluation, but the final reward was only 500 reincarnation coins, but he couldn't even afford a penny of the resurrection coin. However, the function of the resurrection coin is really amazing. When the reincarnationists explore the dungeon, they often encounter various dangers. As long as there is a resurrection coin in the backpack, it will automatically trigger when encountering danger, and let the reincarnationists revive on the spot. In the reincarnation space, a place connected to reality, death is also terrifying, especially for those high-star reincarnationists. Life is much more valuable than reincarnation coins. Only this price makes everyone stay away. Yes, everyone. Except for the behemoth of the country. Even those aristocratic families or consortiums dare not say that they can afford the resurrection coin. What's more, it is a disposable prop that disappears directly after use. In the living room, Lin Luo grinned. Although other items in the mall are not as expensive as the reincarnation coins, their prices are also not to be underestimated. At the same time, he also found many items used in specific copies. Huang Tsuetsue's recorder, 800 reincarnation coins, German noble identity, 1000 reincarnation coins. Dang Xuanzi's 36 freehand moves, 12,000 reincarnation coins, Warring States Silk Book, remaining 30,000 reincarnation coins. 16 character Yin-Yang Feng Shui secret technique, remaining 30,000 reincarnation coins. Chapter 17, Self-cultivation of a poor person. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Many items in the mall have obvious dungeon characteristics, for example, the recorder and the 2 fragments of secret arts. but Lin Luo thought about it for a long time and still couldn't figure out which dungeon the so-called German noble identity was from. And the copy of Deng Xuanzi's 36 freehands, if I remember correctly, isn't this a pornographic book? Such things are also sold in the mall. Looking at the prices of many items, Lin Luo felt a chill in his heart. Even the cheapest recorder, he couldn't afford it, let alone those high-end items. He was so heartbroken that he could only close the mall page helplessly. Fortunately, there is also a section of the exchange on the panel, which is specially set up for reincarnationists. In the exchange, in addition to reincarnation coins, real currency can also be used for transactions. Many reincarnationists think that the mall's recycling price is too low, and they will also throw it into the exchange to pick up bargains. When everyone bids at the same time, the items can often be sold at a higher price. As soon as he clicked in, he saw a B-level technique that was pinned to the top. Lin Luo's eyes lit up. He quickly clicked on the technique details and entered the transaction page to check. It can be seen that this technique is called Spark, which is a skill that can release a fire magic-like skill. It is estimated that this technique was discovered in a magical copy. The flame covers a large area, half the size of a basketball court. However, the disadvantages of the technique are obvious. Every time a skill is released, more than 80% of the mental power is consumed. And, the consumption is still calculated according to the proportion, but even so, when Lin Luo saw the price of the technique, his heart stopped beating. 200,000,000. A full 200 million real currency. A B-level skill with such obvious shortcomings can actually be sold for 200 million. And there are dozens of competitors. Seeing this picture, Lin Luo couldn't help but take a breath. Every bid from the competitor was like a slap in the face. After searching the entire exchange, he did not find any A-level skills. Lin Luo hated himself. Why didn't he buy a few more secret books from the old beggar in the Kung Fu copy? It was just a matter of a dozen yuan. If he brought it to reality, he could easily become a billionaire by selling any book. Unfortunately, there was no chance to regret it. Suppressing his emotions, Lin Luo wandered around the exchange. He had a clearer understanding of the prices of various skills and props. For example, the prices of B-level skills mostly fluctuated around 9 digits. Skills like Spark were only the lower middle of the B-level skills, and there were more skills from C level to F level. The prices ranged from tens of millions to hundreds of yuan. At the same time, the exchange was open to all divisions, and the reincarnations around the world traded on the same interface. In addition to the props of Daxia, he also saw many props from foreign copies, for example, the Holy Grail, the Flame Banner, the Silver Cross Sword, etc. The only thing that made Lin Luo unhappy was, he didn't have reincarnation coins in the mall, and he didn't have real money in the exchange. He was a poor guy wherever he went anyway. The blood in his body kept surging, and Lin Luo closed his eyes in anger and reached out to close the virtual screen. He rested on the sofa for a long time before his emotions gradually calmed down. With resentment, Lin Luo opened his eyes. At this time, the cooldown time of the copy was only half an hour. After becoming a formal reincarnationist, the copy to participate in needs to be prepared in advance and enter together with other reincarnationists. In other words, put aside the previous landlady. From today on, he has to face other reincarnationists head-on. The voice of the administrator sounded. Reincarnation Galaxy, the copy you chose, Detective Chinatown, is about to start. Do you choose to enter the waiting space? These rules, Lin Luo checked the information on the forum, and he knew them very well. Confirm, but without hesitation, he said silently in his heart. A white light suddenly flashed before his eyes. Guided by the rules, Lin Luo was teleported into a huge black room. The walls around, including the floor and the ceiling, are all made of black stone. It looks very similar to the material of the reincarnation column. The 7 or 8 figures standing in the room are clearly visible. There is a huge screen on the wall. In addition to the copy countdown, there is also a ranking list of top reincarnationists, a full 200. The first on the list is Dick, nicknamed the God of War, the only 6-star reincarnationist in the world, from the United States. The second is Azura, who is also from the United States, a 5-star reincarnation, and the third is Tianwen, a reincarnationist from Daxia, also 5 stars. There are a total of 4 people from the United States in the top 10 of the ranking list, and there is only one person from Daxia, Sakura, Mao Xiong, and other countries. there is also a 5-star reincarnationist named Yuanfeng, whose origin is unknown, and it is estimated that the information is hidden. Overall, the United States is still the strongest, the world pattern in reality is the same, the other reincarnationists on the list are all 5-star level, and many of them seem to use their real names. It can be seen that even among reincarnationists of the same star level, there must be a big gap between them. After a casual glance, Lin Luo retracted his gaze. He believed that it would not take too long for his name to appear on the list. Now, there is no need for me to pay attention to these things. Attention, all reincarnations, the countdown to the dungeon teleportation is 10 minutes. As the reminder sounded, the white light in the room finally stopped flashing, and no one teleported in. Lin Luo counted, including himself. There were a total of 20 figures standing in the room. Most of them wore masks to cover their faces, some gathered in groups of 3 or 2, obviously knowing each other, and forming a group to explore the dungeon, and those who stood alone basically revealed their true faces, stood in silence, and stared at everyone warily. Suddenly, the sound of applause sounded, attracting everyone's attention. Following the applause, Lin Luo also turned his head to look at one of the young men. He was wearing a dark golden windbreaker, and his facial features on his fair face were extremely delicate. He strode to the center of the room. After looking around at everyone, the young man spoke loudly. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Zhong Bufan. After completing this dungeon, you can officially upgrade to a 2-star reincarnationist. Everyone in the room was suddenly shocked when they heard his introduction. Even the lone traveler standing in the distance couldn't help but look at him a few more times. 2-star reincarnationist. The Chinatown dungeon is just an ordinary 1-star dungeon. If you don't pursue speed pass or high evaluation, there is almost no danger in the dungeon. A reincarnationist with a strength close to 2 stars can be said to be invincible in this dungeon. The young man raised his right hand, and the star on his wrist was dazzling. The surprise and envy shown by everyone made the young man quite proud. A satisfied smile appeared on his face. Since everyone recognizes my strength, I will say what I want to say next. I also hope that no one will mind later. Chapter 18, Entering the Tang Detective Dungeon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is the 30-second 1-star copy I have experienced. I believe that everyone here should have no more than me, right? That the young man spoke again, and his words made everyone's pupils shrink again. To become a 2-star reincarnationist, if the attribute value meets the standard, you need to obtain nearly 30,000 reincarnation points, and a single 1-star copy, even if it is rated A, can only get 1,500 points at most. In this way, half of his copies have been rated A. Everyone is a reincarnationist. No one knows better than them how difficult it is to get an A rating. Perhaps, this mysterious young man has the support of a big family or a consortium. Everyone has their own guesses in their hearts. The young man smiled and said, everyone knows that when exploring a dungeon, the reincarnation space will not restrict each other's evaluation. That is to say, even if I get an S-level evaluation, as long as the strategy is done well, it will not affect everyone's next S-level evaluation. Then why don't we form an alliance and explore this dungeon together? It has to be said that his words are very inflammatory. Some people have already guessed the identity of the young man and want to take the initiative to find him to form an alliance. As soon as the 2 sentences were finished, someone immediately raised his hand and trotted to the young man to express his intention. However, Lin Luo sneered at this. It sounds like an alliance may be good for everyone, and you can also make friends with a suspected hidden boss, which has many benefits, but pie in the sky will not fall. If the young man has a strategy above a level, as long as he follows the strategy, it will be no problem to upgrade to 2 stars. There is no need to bring these passers-by to win together. Besides, are 2-star reincarnations awesome? For reincarnations, what is important is not the star level, but their own strength. Even if there is no half a star on the wrist, don't you still have the strength to surpass 2 stars? Just like a famous saying goes, what's the use of high scores, as long as you are strong, the number 1 in the Korean server, won't you still be beaten by me? Simple truth, everyone naturally understands it in their hearts, especially those lone travelers. Each sneered, and then turned away. However, not everyone has thought about this problem clearly. There are still more than a dozen people surrounding the young man, chattering and chatting. Everyone, does anyone want to join us? The young man asked again. He looked around and stared at Lin Luo for a long time. I promise that I will share the strategy with everyone. I already have an A-level strategy, as long as it is slightly improved. Don't you all want to get an S-level strategy and get dungeon rewards and props? That the rest of the people in the room ignored him. Seeing this, the young man just smiled and didn't care. More than a dozen people gathered together to discuss the plan after entering the dungeon. Not long after, the prompt sounded again. Attention, all reincarnations, the countdown of the copy is approaching, and the transmission is about to begin. 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. Transmission begins. The black fog was still generated, enveloping everyone. After a faint light flashed in the fog, all the figures disappeared silently in the room. Beep. The shrill sound of horns surrounded him. When Lin Luo regained his sight, he was already standing on a busy street somewhere. There were colorful three-wheeled motorcycles passing by him, and modern high-rise buildings stood in the distance. The comfortable sunshine shone, and the air was filled with the smell of spices. Looking diagonally opposite, a golden building that looked like a palace was located there. This is where the plot of Tang Detective begins. The capital of Siam, Bangkok. Please pay attention, the mission has been released. The current copy is a camp copy. You can choose any camp to complete the mission at will. The mission is the same. Current optional camps: Chinatown Police Station, Tangren Detective Agency staff. Mainline mission: find the murderer and recover the stolen gold. Mission time: 3 days. The mission prompt sounded. Without much hesitation, Lin Luo immediately made a choice. I choose the Chinatown Police Station camp. The camp selection is complete, and the identity is being created. Name: Ding Shen. Age: 23 years old. Identity: Kuntai's subordinate, overseas Chinese. Obtain copy props: mobile phone, police certificate, proficiency in Chinese and Thai. Hearing the voice ringing in his ears, Lin Luo's eyes were happy. He immediately took action. With the police certificate, he requisitioned a passerby's motorcycle and went to the place in his memory. In fact, the police station is also divided into 2 camps. In addition to Chief Inspector Kuntai, there is another Chief Inspector named Huang Landing. Comparing the two, it is obvious that the Kuntai camp is better. The police officers under Kuntai are all experienced, and they are obviously more comfortable in places like Chinatown. The phone numbers of everyone have been saved in the mobile phone issued by the copy. After considering all the plots of the copy, Lin Luo drove the motorcycle with one hand and took out the mobile phone with the other hand. He found the number in the address book and called it directly. Soon, the call was connected. For eyes, do me a favor, go to the scrapyard outside the city now and see if there is a van for hauling fish. Yes, it is used for hauling fish, and it smells very fishy. I will send you the license plate later. Don't move after you find it. Find a few minions to watch it. It will be useful later. After hanging up the phone with Cyan, he called another one without stopping. San Mao, I'll send you a location. Go to this store to buy a notebook. Remember to buy the blue-green one. Go away, then buy all the colors. Tui, help me run to Sompa's workshop. There is a Bluetooth speaker in his room. Can you help me get it? Mole. After making several calls in a row, Lin Luo finally arranged all the tasks. He put away his phone and drove to his destination. With the strength of a 2-star reincarnation, driving this small motorcycle is not a problem at all. In more than 10 minutes, he arrived at his destination, in front of an old residential building. Looking at the more than 20-story building in front of him, Lin Luo narrowed his eyes. In fact, he didn't have to be so anxious, but since completing the trial task, he suddenly realized that the completion time of the task is also an important basis for the final rating of the copy. Although it is difficult to get an SSS level evaluation, you have to try it. In the plot, this building is where Sinuo and his adoptive father live. It is only afternoon now, and Sinuo is still in school, and her adoptive father, Mr. Lee, should still be working in the scrapyard. And there is no one at home. It's just that it will take some effort to find the two people's home. Accurately in these crowded rooms, Lin Luo stood downstairs and thought for a long time. When he saw the administrator sitting at the entrance, he suddenly had an idea in his mind and smiled on his face. Hello, I am a Chinese who just came to Siam and want to find the house number of my relative's house. Lin Luo spoke Siamese and walked towards the administrator. The residents in the building should all be registered, please help me. The old administrator glanced at him, he bent down, took out a thick resident list and threw it on the table. The list is here, check it yourself. Sorry, I can't read Siamese, can I? Sorry, I'm busy too, if you can't read, ask your relatives to come down. The old man looked indifferent, however, he was only halfway through his words. Lin Luo, like a magician, suddenly had several dark green banknotes in his hand. On the banknotes, Franklin's head was eye-catching, the old administrator's words were stuck, and he looked at Lin Luo with an inquiring look. With a chuckle, Lin Luo didn't let him wait for long. A total of $500 bills were gently slapped on the table, just above the list. Now, help me check the list. Chapter 19 He is slandering me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, no problem. That the old man stood up and bowed slightly to Lin Luo. At the same time, the money on the list was taken back by him at some point. Lin Luo smiled slightly when he saw this scene. Maybe his identity as a police officer makes him not as good as Franklin in speaking. This is Siam, this is the reality of the lower and middle classes in Bangkok. Anyway, there are still millions of US dollars in the backpack, and it will just gather dust there, so it is better to let them help me. Open the way. It is a pity that this money can only be used in a copy and cannot be brought to the real world, but Lin Luo can understand it. In each copy, paper money is the easiest thing to get. A reincarnation with a little strength can print a few heaven and earth banks as long as he can get a money printing machine. If they can all be brought to reality, the economy of the outside world may collapse instantly. These things are explained in detail in the rules. On the contrary, those more expensive props or other precious metals, the reincarnation space is not so strict. Thinking of this, Lin Luo's eyes lit up. He suddenly remembered that the task in the copy asked him to find the stolen gold. How much was it? Hundreds of kilograms. Can this gold be brought back to reality? It's not because it's a task item that it's not allowed to be taken out, right? Just as he was thinking, the administrator in front of him interrupted his thoughts with doubt. This gentleman, sir. Excuse me, do you have any information about your relatives, or characteristics? I'll help you recall. Lin Luo smiled and nodded without changing his expression after coming to his senses. Of course there are. I always call him Uncle Li. I remember he's a little dark, not tall, and very thin. By the way, I have a sister named Sinuo. Sinuo. The administrator was thoughtful and suddenly realized, oh, it turned out to be them. But he soon asked doubtfully, but Mr. Li is usually taciturn, and I haven't heard him say that he has any relatives. TSK. You said he was taciturn, and he still said shit to you. Lin Luo kept smiling on the surface, slowly reaching out. There was another stack of dark green banknotes in his hand. I just came from China, so Uncle probably doesn't know yet. I'm here to give him a surprise. If it's convenient, can you take me up first? I can also set it up. That the old man took all the money calmly, with a hesitant expression. Hesitant? That means he didn't give enough. Knowing this, Lin Luo was not stingy and took out another stack of money. Adding it all together, it was estimated to be about $2,000. In Bangkok, especially in Chinatown, it was probably 3 months' salary for an ordinary person. The hesitation on the old man's face disappeared instantly. He took out a bunch of keys from the drawer. Sir, I'll take you up now. Under his leadership, Lin Luo quickly arrived at the door of Sinuo's house. The old man opened the door neatly, like welcoming guests. He bowed and stretched out his right hand at the same time. Sir, I'm happy to serve you. When Mr. Li comes back from get off work, say hello to him for me. After Lin Luo walked into the room, he closed the door for him considerately and backed away, until the old man disappeared in the corridor. Lin Luo breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at the layout of the room, it was basically similar to the scene in the plot. There was a small living room at the entrance, and a TV opposite the sofa. Mr. Li should usually sleep in the living room. The room inside was the girl Sinuo's bedroom. The dim bedroom was filled with a faint fragrance, a very comfortable smell, but it could also be smelled that the owner was not very old. Not Lin Luo's taste. He glanced around. walked to the desk in the bedroom, and reached out to open the drawer. A notebook with a blue-green cover lay quietly in it. Normally, this diary would definitely not be here, and Sinuo would definitely hide it well, but at the beginning of the plot, Sinuo was afraid that Mr. Li would not find it, so, she put it directly in the desk cabinet. It was not until Songpa was confirmed dead and the police issued a notice that Sinuo would burn it, and now, it just happened to be a bargain for Lin Luo. He flipped to the end of the diary casually and read it for a while, and a gleam of light flashed in Lin Luo's eyes. It's done. According to the current plot, Songpa was found dead yesterday. Qin Feng arrived in Bangkok last night. The police only found Tang Ren in the middle of the night. If nothing unexpected happens, the police force of Huang Landing should be on the way to catch Tang Ren. After being brought to Mr. Yan, Qin Feng's 3-day challenge of solving the case will officially begin. Unfortunately, all the evidence is now in his hands. Less than 20 minutes after entering the plot, Lin Luo has cracked all the truths. While he was checking his diary, a text message alert sounded. It was sent by Cyan and Sanmao. Mr. Li had just completed the crime and had no time to deal with the car. Cyan quickly found the trace of the van. All the evidence and clues have been prepared. Next, it is time to report to the director and solve the case. Lin Luo put away his notebook and walked out of the door. When he passed by the management officer, he waved to him and got on the motorcycle to return to the police station. In the Chinatown police station, the atmosphere in the conference room was stagnant. Who in the entire Chinatown doesn't know that Tang Ren is Kuntai's horseboy? How dare you, Huang Langdang, catch my man while riding a horse, Pong, bastard. A greasy man with dark skin, a sexy belly exposed, and a mustache shouted arrogantly. In the main seat, the director's face looked very ugly. Opposite him, Huang Langdang's nose was wrapped with gauze, and there were faint blood stains. Hearing this, he sneered, we already have definite evidence that Tang Ren is the murderer of Songpa. At the same time, he is also the mastermind of the golden robbery, that is, the little man with no face in the video. After the words fell, Kuntai's face was dull and his eyes lost focus. Langdon Huang smiled proudly, walking around to Kuntai. And I also heard that you are the boss behind Tang Ren's private detective agency. Bang. Kuntai slapped the table. I'm warning you not to talk nonsense. His tone trembled slightly. I'm suing you for slander, do you know? I'm suing you for slander. He is slandering me. Kuntai looked at the many horses and pointed at Langdon Huang with both hands. He is slandering me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The enchanting bell rang in the conference room. Tang Ren's grinning profile picture was displayed on the screen at the same time. At this time, Huang Langdang, who was sitting aside, immediately saw Kuntai's mobile phone. The two looked at each other for 3 seconds. At the same time, he reached out to grab Kuntai's mobile phone. The conference room suddenly became chaotic. Just then, footsteps sounded. Snap. The door to the conference room was pushed open forcefully. The forest turned into a deep forest and walked in from the door. Seeing the chaotic scene inside and Kuntai's cell phone buzzing, Lin Luo quickly understood the progress of the plot at this time. He clapped his hands and stopped everyone's movements. Sir Cohen, director. Tang Ren is not the murderer. There is definite evidence that there is someone else who is the murderer. Also, I have found all the stolen gold. As soon as these words came out, everyone's eyes in the conference room focused on Lin Luo. Even the director with an ugly expression looked up. Chapter 20. It's my turn to perform. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kuntai's henchmen and Huang Landing's men wrestled with each other. The two forces were in a state of chaos, but this chaos fell into a strange silence with the appearance of Lin Luo. The first to come to their senses were the police officers in ordinary uniforms. Everyone looked at each other. Suddenly they realized that the police officer who came in should also be one of the reincarnations. It was just that their identities were recreated, so each of them could not recognize who the other was. Lin Luo stood at the door, and the movements of everyone in the audience were clear at a glance. When he saw the small movements of several police officers, he quickly guessed that in addition to himself, many people also chose the Chinatown Police Department camp. Now he was hiding in the crowd and watching. It didn't matter, no matter who it was, they could only be soy sauce. Next, it was time for his own performance. In the crowd, Huang Landing pushed Kuntai away with force. Who the hell are you? This is Chinatown Police Station. Who let him in? Huang Landing, don't go too far. Kuntai yelled, looking at the chief beside him. Chief, his name is Ding Shen, and he is also my henchman, team member. Your henchman? Huang Landing sneered. We have been following the gold robbery case for 3 months, and now we have only found a little clue. He just came in and said that he solved all the cases. Sir Kuen's subordinates are so capable, that the 2 sarcastic words choked Kuntai speechless. Just now, he almost exposed his relationship with Tang Ren and got himself involved in the case. Kuntai really didn't dare to answer, for fear that Ding Shen was also out to make trouble. However, before he could scold him, Lin Luo stepped into the meeting room and came to Kuntai and Huang Landing. The murderer has been found, and the gold robbery case and Kuntai's murder case have also been solved. Is Huang Sir afraid to face the reality? Or are you afraid that Kun Sir will become the deputy director after solving the case, and he will ride on your head in the future, so, you don't want to solve the case? I warn you not to talk nonsense. Huang Landing glared at him. More than a dozen police officers standing behind him rushed forward at this time, seemingly wanting to beat Lin Luo. Kuntai's people naturally did not want to fall behind. No matter what, Ding Shen is his brother. Even if he offended the police chief, he still had to protect him. Just when the 2 sides were on the verge of a fight in the conference room, bang! A heavy slap on the table suddenly sounded. Breaking the confrontation also attracted everyone's attention, including Huang Landing and Kuntai. Everyone turned their heads at the same time and looked at the director sitting in the main seat. The director, who also had a dark face and dark lips, stood up. After a quick glance, he suppressed his anger and said, no matter who solves the case, I can guarantee that he will be the next deputy director. If the case cannot be solved. The director looked at Lin Luo. I will send him to Nana for a striptease. As soon as the words fell, Huang Landing's face lit up, including the reincarnations mixed in the crowd. Everyone looked at Lin Luo, waiting to see him make a fool of himself in front of the director. Director. Kuntai wanted to say a few good words, however, Lin Luo also interrupted at the same time. Kun Sir, thanks to your foresight, you sent me to Chinatown for an undercover investigation. Kuntai turned his head with a confused face, and his face was full of question marks. When did I send you to an undercover investigation? Facing the gaze of everyone, Lin Luo ignored Kuntai's confusion and spoke to himself. He walked to the front of the meeting room and picked up the remote control on the table. After studying for a while, he brought up some pictures of the gold robbery on the screen. 3 months ago, after the gold robbery, Sir Kun took it very seriously and secretly sent me to follow up on the case. Among them, 4 of the 5 people in the picture have confirmed their identities. Only this little guy is still unclear. At this point, Lin Luo scanned the entire scene. His eyes did not linger on anyone, but he observed that the man standing behind Huang Landing subconsciously avoided his sight. It can be confirmed that this person is the little mustache in the plot, that is, the 5th robber in the robbery. According to Sir Huang's guess, the little guy may be Tang Ren from the Chinatown Detective Agency. Because on the night of Songpa's death, Tang Ren drove to the workshop and did not appear until 5 minutes later. There are only Tang Ren's fingerprints on the demon-subduing pestle found at the scene. In addition, in the footage captured by the surveillance, no one has entered Songpa's workshop for a full 7 days. From the above evidence, Tang Ren is indeed the murderer who killed Songpa. The more Huang Landing listened, the more something was wrong. Without waiting for him to finish, he shouted directly, "What you said is completely our conclusion." But Lin Luo smiled. He put down the remote control. After Sir Kuen's day and night research, we finally found that there is another hidden story in these 2 cases. The director and Huang Landing turned their eyes to Kuntai at the same time. Kuntai felt very uncomfortable for a while. He could only keep laughing and signaled Lin Luo with his eyes to let him speak quickly. First of all, I want to tell you that there is no connection between the gold robbery case and the Songpa murder case. These 2 cases were originally coincidences. Sir Huang went in the wrong direction, so of course his conclusion was wrong. Secondly, Tang Ren was not the murderer of Songpa. He was just someone else's scapegoat. Knowing that your whereabouts will be exposed, if it were you, Sir Huang, would you blatantly enter the workshop and kill people? And after killing people, you still live in Chinatown as if nothing happened. In the end, It's what everyone cares about the most. Lin Luo said slowly, "Where is the stolen gold?" The conference room suddenly became quiet, everyone held their breath, waiting for his answer. If we want to find evidence for these two cases, we have to go to the sample workshop. He knew that if he said this, he would definitely arouse their dissatisfaction. Lin Luo took the lead and blocked everyone's mouths. He saluted the director. "Director, I apply for the arrest of Mr. Li in room 1107, Chinese community number 9527, Chinatown." At the same time, his adopted daughter Sinuo was also brought to Sompa's workshop. "I promise. Not only can I solve Sompa's case, but I can also get back all the gold." To the director, "Murder cases and everything else don't matter, all he cares about is the stolen gold. If he couldn't find it, and if Mr. Yen got angry, his own director would probably be done with it." At this time, Lin Luo made a promise. Before Langdon Huang could react, the director did not hesitate. "Agree." That with one order, the entire police station sprang into action. The police force was dispatched to the scrapyard. And the school, and Mr. Li and Sinuo were taken to the Songpa workshop. At the same time, dozens of police officers were divided into more than a dozen teams and dispatched in a mighty manner. Just before departure, Mustache found Huang Langdon. "Sir Huang, my stomach feels uncomfortable and I want to go to the toilet first." Langdon Huang looked at him with disgust and waved his hand casually. After bowing, Mustache did not hesitate, turned around and ran back to the police station.